Right then, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking today about a potential new sporting director at Manchester United. That's because recent reports are suggesting that Manchester United have shown interest in Mikel González, currently the sporting director at Athletic Bilbao. And we're looking at appointing him as a sporting director at Manchester United. It comes obviously after the abrupt departure of Dan Ashworth just 5 months into his tenure. And we're going to have a look about what González might be bringing. Now, Gonzalez has had a bit of a varied career in football administration. He did start at Real Sociedad, where he worked in youth development, helping bring through the likes of Zubamendi and Oyarzabal, and then he moved to Athletic Club in November 2022, where he took on the role of sporting director after serving as director of development. Now, his tenure at Athletic Bilbao has been marked by an emphasis on promoting from within and maintaining the club's philosophy of using Basque-only players. Now, anybody that's watched my channel for any length of time knows that I've got a lot of respect for the way Athletic Club do things. I actually got to sit down with Jose Maria Amoroto, who was the predecessor of Gonzalez, about 2017-18, I think it was, something along those lines. And I sat in the sporting director's office, so I'll show you that. Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of The Warm Down. Today I am delighted to be joined by the very special Jose Maria Amoroto, the sporting director of Athletic Club Bilbao. Very welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for you.
And obviously, thanks to Bilbao for how welcoming they were and how open they were. Now, I love how successful they are. With that self-imposed Basque-only philosophy, they have to make those players work. They can't just have an academy, pay lip service to it, and say, do you know what, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now, Bilbao aren't going to be winning Champions Leagues and aren't going to be winning the title on a regular basis in La Liga. But the fact that they even qualify for the Champions League occasionally just tells you how powerful and how successful that academy system can be. They can basically sign players that have been a little bit of France, Northern Spain, and basically either came through at Sociedad or Bilbao. That's it. That is it. Forget worldwide scouting. Forget trying to pick up a left back in Uruguay. Forget trying to pick up a new central midfielder in Senegal. Forget going up to Scotland to try and find a new goalkeeper. No, it's a little bit of Spain, where the Basque region kind of like expands into to France and Spain. That's it. That is it. So the emphasis that they have and the patience that they have within that academy is to be like, listen, we've identified these kids. We are going to develop these kids to the best that we can. There's so much, not just Manchester United, but every club in world football could learn from them. Now, he is known, González, known for focus on player development, but also recruitment that fits the club's identity. Strong correlation there between the sort of things that Manchester United should be good for. And then maintaining a strong connection between the first team and the youth system. Also very, very important. There's no point in having a complete disconnect. You have to have a relationship that goes through there. So why is González being considered for Manchester United? Now, obviously, the track record at Bilbao showcases the ability to not only identify talent, but cultivate young talent and bring it through into the first team successfully. That's key for Manchester United's rebuild, especially two reasons. One, the fact that we do have a very, very strong academy system, players that are being successful across all of the various youth age groups. There's a bit of a disconnect between the success that we are finding with the under-18s, with the under-16s, players being developed, and then them making that step into the Premier League level and first team level. We've got to bridge that gap. We've got to make that a lot more frequent way for us to go into and bring players through. And his approach to squad building through youth development could resonate with Manchester United's ethos, something Alex Ferguson, Matt Busby made this club famous for. The second thing is I think we're skint. And I think that focusing on the academy is a way that Manchester United, look, even if they're not successful Manchester United players, we might start seeing Manchester United start doing what Chelsea have done, which is fund their bigger purchases by selling academy players. Now, I've got no issues with that. It has to be a bit of a strategy. You're still going to have to buy the players that you can't build in your own academy, but there has to be a more sustainable way of doing it. I've had a massive issue for years about the prices that Manchester United sell their players for. Bilbao's a club, because of their inability to just go out and sign replacements, that hold on to their youth or get crazy good fees for their youth, something that United could absolutely do. Now, Gonzalez's strategy has been to find players that not only fit the tactical needs of the squad, but the cultural and philosophical identity of the club as well. That helps create a cohesive team unit. And you could feel it when you're in Bilbao. You can feel that there is a lot more of a connect between that club and that town and their supporters than there is at a lot of other clubs for various different reasons. But a competent sporting director like a Gonzalez, bringing a clear vision for the club's future where you align youth development and recruitment into the first team strategy is a massive positive. And I think that's crucial for United. We face criticism, valid criticism, I think it's also fair saying, for having a lack of consistent direction in recent years, for having a inability to bring fair value for the signings or for the sales that we made of our academy players. The right sporting director could really improve the recruitment strategy, focus on players that not only have the skill but the mentality to succeed at United. And I think that's something that often goes overlooked. That's better scouting networks, that's better negotiation tactics, that's better squad planning, that's looking at, having... I remember when David Moyes came and he talked about David Moyes' recruitment room. This is David Moyes, by the way, not exactly the shining beacon of how shit should be done. But the fact that David Moyes had this at Everton and you go, has anyone even fucking thought of that at Old Trafford? David Moyes had a recruitment room where the players weren't allowed in. And they had team sheets up on the board, on boards, on the wall. And it had my best 11 and squad depth. So you might have your first choice players in bold and then maybe in ghosted underneath them, your second and third choice players in each position. So you have your starting 11 on the wall and it's got 24-25 season. Let's put that on there. Okay, 26-27 or 25-26 season, 26-27 season, 27-28 season for the next 5 years. And then there's notes underneath the bottom of them. He's only got a contract for another year. We're going to replace him next year. We think that this academy player is going to come through. He'll be second choice next year, first choice the year after. That is squad planning. And that, for me, feels like it's something that has never happened at Manchester United in the last 10 years at least. Anyway, maybe Fergie did it and he was all up here. But it just doesn't feel like something that we've had. And it absolutely feels like something that we should have. Someone that's going to better align the academy to the first team could be huge. Someone that's going to streamline the process of giving players like a Menu or a Garnacho pathways in to succeed, but also those players that aren't ready to go from under 18s, because there's a lot of these, into the first team, that they go out on loan to places that we trust with managers that we like that are going to give them minutes, because the loan market is such a lottery. Some players go, they get played. Some players go, they don't get played. It's ridiculous. There has to be a better way to develop the players that aren't quite there to bring them up to the level so they could be first-team players at Manchester United. We have to support the manager in terms of player acquisitions that fit the tactical system that all of them people in that room agree on, as well as managing the wage structure, as well as ensuring that you don't have... we find ourselves in a situation at the moment because a couple of years ago, there were 9 first-team or first-choice players whose contracts were all about to expire. And the club shat it and just renewed everyone. And that's why you ended up with mad, Luke Shaw on contract when he's the guy's never fit, why are we giving him a new contract? Because they was we're going to lose everyone, so we just re-signed everybody. United are in a phase where rebuilding is not just necessary and requires immediate results, but you also have to start laying down some real foundations for long-term success. A skilled sporting director has to plan. He has to start planning Ruben Amorim's replacement, as much as that feels like undermining him a little bit. At the end of the day, he doesn't work for Ruben Amorim. He works for Manchester United, and Manchester United at some point will part ways with Ruben Amorim, right? Whether that's in 1 year, 5 years, 15 years, or 37 years, and when he's won 4 fucking Champions Leagues back to back, who knows? But he won't be here forever. So you have to start having a live shortlist of, if he got hit by a bus today, who's our manager for weekend? That's the mentality that you have to have. It's fucking ruthless, but it's the sort of mentality you have to have. Because when things do happen, you don't go, shit, what are we going to do? And you've also got to protect yourselves because, let's say he doesn't get hit by a bus. Let's say he wakes up and he goes, I can't be arsed with this anymore. I'm fucking done. Then what? You have to have succession planning. When someone's so important, like the manager of a football club, and not just the manager, by the way, all of them other executives from Jason Wilcox to Brailsford, everyone in that little mixer there, who replaces him? Now, moving from the very unique situation that you find yourself in and the very unique pressures that you find yourself in with the Basque-only policy that you get at Bilbao to the global recruitment strategy at United would require some adaptability from Gonzalez, I'm sure. The role at Manchester United also comes with immediate, intense, and probably overwhelming pressure and scrutiny that you've never had before, particularly following Dan Ashworth has just left. The expectations at United are high, possibly unreasonably so. Fans, stakeholders require not just success, but a return to the dominance that we see ourselves as in world football. That's going to be hard work. He's got to work closely with the owners. He's got to work closely with the quarter owners that are actually running shit and the Ineos group. And he's got to make it work where Amorim thinks he's working for him, but at the same time he's also working to replace him should he need to. This is an interesting appointment. I have no idea if he's going to be a success or not, if he is the one that United choose to go with. But he will be pivotal in how this rebuild is seen, whether it's a success or it's a failure. The expertise in youth development and the constraints that he's been successful in excite me. But Manchester United is a totally different beast with totally different pressures. He needs to be good because he will be absolutely vital to revitalising what the club are about to go and do. And his success will largely depend on how well he adapts to the culture and the challenges that he's going to face at Manchester United. But interesting appointment, and I'm here for it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.